Good afternoon. Welcome to Studio One on this Thursday, February 11th. It's nice to be back into the swing of things again as we start our third season live from our studios on the campus of the University of North Dakota. I'm your host, Tom Buehring. Glad you could join us. Up ahead this half hour, a voice of the apartheid movement and activist turned diplomat, Hinyangerwa Asheeke. Also joining us, Soviet expert and unofficial ambassador to the USSR, Dr. William Dando. And on our Open Doors segment, a computerized cartoon from Montreal entitled Tony DePeltrie. First, however, we'll go to the news desk with Kelly Evenson. Kelly?
Tom, a former political advisor to President Reagan has been convicted of unfairly using his White House influence for private clients. A U.S. District Court jury today found Lynn Notziger guilty on three counts of illegally lobbying his former White House colleagues on behalf of the WedTech Corporation, which makes planes for the Air Force. Notziger could be sentenced up to 6 years in prison and fined up to $30,000 on the three convictions. The third defendant in the Howard Beach racial killing was sentenced today. 16-year-old Jason Ladone was sentenced to 5 to 15 years in prison by a New York State Supreme Court justice. Ladone was one of three people convicted in the December '86 assault that left one black man dead and another injured. A Norwegian supertanker loaded with crude oil was attacked by Iranians and set on fire today. The Happy Carry was attacked early this morning. There's no word on injuries. This was the first trip for the Happy Carry after it was damaged in an attack December 18th. Construction of the new United Campus Ministry Center at UND is right on schedule. The Reverend John Jarman says most of the exterior has been completed except for the roof, and crews are now working on the interior. Jarman says the sanctuary will be located in the center of the building with seminar rooms, meeting space, lounges, and offices surrounding it. Jarman says construction should be done by the end of May, and they should start moving in June 1st. Those color inserts that fall out of your Sunday newspaper and litter your living room floor could be saving you a lot of money at the grocery store. Couponing, clipping, filing, and shopping with manufacturers' coupons can save you up to 20% on your grocery bill, but many people think it takes too much time to use coupons. UND home economics professor Glenda Crawford suggests using a coupon file and this time-saving tip.
Let your coupon file follow the basic format of the store so that as you go through the store, you basically are going through different sections of your coupon file to purchase those items.
Although you wouldn't think that the 25-cent coupons would make much of a difference, they can mean a tremendous savings over a period of time, and most grocers offer double the value up to 50 cents, making some items free or just a few cents, especially if you wait for sales. Shoppers do need to be aware that even with double coupon offers, a store or generic brand item may still be less expensive than a national brand. Still, coupons are popular.
Well, paper and cereal are two big items, probably two of the biggest.
Pretty much a variety, I guess. Cleaning and cereals mainly, I would say. Yeah.
According to a 1985 study by the Coupon Control Center, consumers saving an estimated $2.24 billion. It goes to show coupons make sense. Tom?
Thank you, Kelly. If you're looking for something new to share with your sweetheart on Valentine's Day, try the Chinese New Year's celebration at the Civic Auditorium. An exotic dinner starting at 7:30 on Sunday will be followed by a lion dance, a costume show, and a martial arts demonstration, among much more. Tickets are available at the Chester Fritz Auditorium. For more information, call 777-3977. For a more traditional approach, you could try dancing into your beloved's heart at the Alvin Ally Repertory Ensemble Sunday at the Chester Fritz. Curtain opens at 8:15. To tell us what the weather will be like on this extended Valentine's Day weekend is meteorologist Jay Searles. Jay?
Thank you, Tom. We've had some very cold air move into the area after this last few days. In the almanac, we had a high yesterday of only 6 degrees below zero. And the low this morning was very cold, 26 degrees below zero, and there's been no precipitation. Currently at 4 in the Grand Forks area, the temperature is 4 degrees below zero. The winds are southerly at 10 miles per hour, and the relative humidity is 86%. Taking a look at the map across the nation, a large storm system has moved into the Ohio Valley, where a lot of snow is beginning to break out in the cold air behind this system across the southern Great Lakes and down into even parts of northern Louisiana, where they're expecting up to maybe 2 or 3 inches. Foot will probably be falling across much of the southern Great Lakes region, where winter storm warnings are being posted. In the warm air, rather warmer air, temperatures are still in the 40s and 30s across the southeast, compared to probably temperatures well below zero, where they're in the 20 degrees below zero and down into the teens across parts of Texas. Across the west, this is our warm-up. This is what's going to be coming our way for the weekend. Temperatures across the west are in the 30s and 40s underneath this area of high pressure, and some pleasant conditions as well. Temperatures or skies are mostly clear. There is some fog along the coast. We don't have to worry about that. That's just some moisture moving into the coastal regions. That's what it looks like across the United States today. I'll be back a little bit later in the program with the Red River Valley weekend forecast. Tom?
Thank you, Jay. Reserve your Sundays in February for the 14th Annual Communiversity. These classes will present 35 topics for adults and children both Sunday afternoons and Sunday evenings. You can choose classes in crafts, theology, and family life, just to name a few. For more information, call 777-3633. Tomorrow night, the Sioux men face Morningside in basketball at the Hislop Sports Center and then play Northern Colorado on Saturday. Both games start at 7:35. Also Saturday, the Sioux women play Brandon University at 5:30. After this break, we'll be visiting with Hinyangerwa Asheeke from the Southwest Africa Peoples Organization.
Did you know that almost 1/5 of our Navy is made up of civilians who leave their jobs at a moment's notice to help defend our country? They are members of the Naval Reserve. They take time off from their jobs to help defend our country. But for them to do that job right, they need time to train. If you're an employer, give them the time they need. With your help, our country will remain strong and ready. Support the National Guard and Reserve. Protect their future while they protect yours.
We give you the truth. Uncensored. Powerful documentaries every week.
South Africa belongs to all the people who live in it, not to one group, be it black or white.
I'm too old. I'm too fat.
We're a long way from equality in any field.
Uncensored. Discover it every week on NCTV.
Welcome back to Studio One. UND Symposium Mirror Images, Mirror Lives helps us to understand the problems in Southern Africa and what can be done about those problems. Hinyangerwa Asheeke is a member of the Southwest Africa Peoples Organization. Growing up in the middle of the political conflicts, he developed his knowledge of the struggle for freedom that has led him to his current position as SWAPO's Deputy Representative to the United Nations, Mexico, Canada, and the Americas. We welcome to Studio One Hinyangerwa Asheeke. Mr. Asheeke, it's good to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
That's quite a jump to Deputy Representative of SWAPO. Could you give us a little bit of background concerning the historical background of SWAPO, when it began and where its current status is now?
Yes, SWAPO is the National Liberation Movement fighting for the independence of our country, which is today under colonial and illegal occupation by the racist regime of South Africa. It was formed on the 19th of April in 1960 with the aim of organizing our people to fight against colonialism and repression that has been perpetuated actually for more than 100 years in our country, starting with German colonialism and then continued by South African occupation since 1915.
Mr. Asheeke, do you find the public in general in the United States is somewhat ignorant as to what is going on in Namibia?
Well, I would not say exactly ignorant, but there is a degree of not knowing what is happening in Namibia or in Southern Africa in general. There is a lot that needs to be done in terms of educating the people and to know the issues. For example, the question of apartheid. Quite often you hear that apartheid is in South Africa alone, but it is extended beyond the borders of South Africa. Namibia, for example, is a colonial case, colonized by the same regime of South Africa, and South Africa also carries out acts of aggression against the neighboring states. So that to that extent, there is a need to have people educated about the situation in Southern Africa, which is quite serious, by the way, in terms of the killings that are going on every day.
Coming to North Dakota, what could we do in North Dakota to assist Namibia?
Coming to North Dakota, we come with an open mind that there are people who, once they hear our message of basically appealing to the American society generally for supporting our just cause, both in South Africa, in Namibia, and in the region as a whole. We hope that more and more people, including in this state, in this country, add their voice to the demanding for the imposition of comprehensive and mandatory sanctions against the racist regime of South Africa for the crimes committed in South Africa, in Namibia, and in the region as a whole. And also that the people in this country and in this state add their voice to the demanding for the holding of free and fair elections under the UN Security Council Resolution 435, which, by the way, was a plan drawn up by 5 major Western countries. And we ran a situation where, at this very moment, for the last 8 years, basically, it is the United States administration that has opposed that resolution, while as we are told the United States administration stands for freedom elsewhere. In the case of Namibia, it exactly stands in the face of the holding of free and fair elections in Namibia.
It could take on the appearance of a real frustrating situation, particularly for somebody like you, with the implementation of Resolution 485, which is a ceasefire holding democratic elections, and South Africa not heeding to that, puts the UN in a place of an awkwardness as refereeing the United States wanting to be loyal to a South Africa as an ally. Is it a no-win situation?
Well, there is a win situation as far as we are concerned. We are fighting now a political, military, and diplomatic struggle in order to liberate our country, and we are very much confident about that. Our people are organized and are mobilized. They know what they want, and they are working towards freeing themselves. But there is much that can be done by the international community. The question of the need to internationally isolate the racist regime of South Africa is one, and that can be done through the imposition of mandatory sanctions. The other is the question of the implementation of that resolution that I referred to earlier. It's simple asking for a democratic process to take place in Namibia. So that essentially once you combine those forces, then we will be able to shorten the kind of problem that we have. People are dying. South Africa is an army of over 100,000 troops in Namibia, by the way, who are not there on picnic, but killing, maiming, and destroying in our country. And we want them out. And the United States can work towards that process of change.
It has been 10 years since you've been back, and I trust the next time you go back, it's going to be for Namibia's independence.
Well, that's what I'm looking forward to, and with your support and the peace, freedom-loving American public, we hope that will be realized sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Mr. Asheeke.
Thank you.
Hinyangerwa Asheeke speaks tonight on Namibia's continuing struggle for independence from South Africa at 7:30 in the Memorial Union Ballroom. A reception will follow at the Black Cultural Center. When we return, a melancholy look at life in the form of a computerized cartoon. In anticipation of Valentine's Day, we thought we'd give another look of life on our Open Door segment. Original music and computerized images combined to create Tony DePeltrie, a reflective cartoon done by students at the University of Montreal.
27 years, 6 nights a week. Ah, it's tough being an entertainer. Seems I'm not in anymore. I was the best, the craziest. And now, well, it's dust to dust and somebody new comes along. Ah, I remember when everyone came to see Tony DePeltrie. Nights were always too short. The ladies and I got along great. One look was all it took. People were laughing, drinking, and dancing around my piano. Especially Billy, always clowning around. Good old Billy.
Hey, Tony! Play us some Mozart! Okay, Billy!
Okay, Billy. Pense à toutes ces femmes, à celles qui nous montraient leur charme.
Mozart used to be different!
Pense à Montréal, on passait des nuits pas banales. Pense à tous ces gens qui avaient toujours l'air contents. Pense à tous les soirs où j'étais joué du Mozart. Viva l'amore!
Hey, let's go crazy! We're gonna have fun tonight! Come on, Tony! Wow, it's playing by itself! but it's like a wave! Woo! You're being crazy or what? Let's go, everyone!
Remembering the unforgettable, a certain truth dresses as a fable. As a fable,
From the University of Montreal, Tony DePeltrie. When we return, we'll talk with a man sometimes referred to as the unofficial ambassador to the Soviet Union, Dr. Bill Dando.
Hey, did you hear about Alan?
Yeah.
You know, the guy was a heart attack just waiting to happen.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah. Hey, didn't he have a kid?
I think so.
The scariest part about heart disease is all the little things you leave behind. You can help prevent it. We can tell you how.
Just last week, rumors of another Chernobyl incident made the news. However, what happened is still not clear. With the help of our next guest, Dr. William Dando from UND's Geography Department, the United States hopes to discover what needs to be done to avoid further incidences like Chernobyl and open further the doors to peace with the Soviets. Studio One welcomes the unofficial ambassador to the Soviet Union, Dr. Bill Dando. Dr. Dando, it's good to have you back on Studio One.
Thank you very much. Great pleasure.
To put the rumors to rest, was there another accident in the Soviet Union?
No. Immediately when the first reports of this so-called accident were announced or received in Washington, D.C., they called me. They called Senator Burdick's office, and then they called me. And I was informed that supposedly there was an accident. I didn't think that there could have been an accident because of the statements made by the firm, the agency in Sweden, who cited that their reports listed only 110 radionuclides, this is pollutants, in the cloud that supposedly came over their particular site. We know that we should expect 200 or more from a nuclear accident, especially a Soviet nuclear accident, so it didn't seem logical. So I thought it was waste. When I heard and when I got some insights into the type of pollutant, I thought it was waste. And there is a problem right now with nuclear waste throughout the world and the disposal of nuclear waste.
Did the Soviets learn anything from the last accident? If there was another one, would they tell us, would they inform us about it?
I don't think they have much choice now. The world has been synthesized. The Soviet Union has received a black eye. They have tried to recover some of their credibility. The Soviet Union is monitored very carefully now, not only by us, but by the nations surrounding the Soviet Union, because 62% of their nuclear reactors do not have containment vessels. 62% of their nuclear reactors are similar to, well, the old type reactors, even very similar to the one that produced the first nuclear reaction at the University of Chicago beneath a stadium in 1943. So they're old, and there's great fear.
You've been given a grant recently to go over and to research the project. A neutral party, you yourself described yourself, perhaps the reason why you're selected is you are a, quote, nobody from nowhere. You're a very neutral party. Going over, what dimension will you research in the impact of Chernobyl?
We've received the first disbursement of a very large research grant. We've received $500,000 to begin our study, to begin a 10-year study of this nuclear accident which took place in the Soviet Union. The first year we'll be studying primarily its impact upon the physical environment surrounding the plant in a very small radius, 18-20 miles from the plant. We'll also be looking at its impact upon food production in the Soviet Union and its impact upon the people surrounding the plant. Then each year we will take another phase of a very complex research plan that I devised a year and a half ago, and we'll study that, and we'll receive approximately $500,000 to $600,000 a year for 10 years, just studying the plant itself. But there's problems. According to everything we understand, there may be other accidents, perhaps in the Soviet Union, perhaps at a nuclear power plant, perhaps there will be waste, but more so, there is a probability of nuclear accidents throughout the world. And so what we're trying to establish here at the University of North Dakota is a center for the study of the impact of, well, radiation on the environment, the physical environment, so that we can conduct environmental impact statements in case there is another accident and help people resolve this accident.
That's a lot of money. How will that aid the state of North Dakota, briefly?
Well, to begin with, we're attracting a great deal of attention. When this accident was reported, they called our senator, Burdick, which is rather unique. The second thing is it will enable us to as scholars and students on this campus to study a unique phenomenon, something modern, something that's going to have impact upon many people throughout the world. In other words, nuclear energy and its effect upon the environment. We'll employ initially, within the next week or two, 38 people on this particular project, a great number of students, but also other people. We believe that we're going to expand this. And combining this with other grants, I'll have 75 employees, I believe, by about March 15th, or a potential of 75 employees. We'll be bringing in money, plus we'll be bringing in opportunities to learn.
It's good to hear about what's going on. A lot more of it. Dr. Bill Dando, who will be taking his class to Russia May 17th to June 22nd, and as I understand, he needs more females. So for more information to enroll in the class, call 777-4246. When we return, we'll take one last look at the weather, so stay with us.
How does this man consistently draw 2,000 students a year to New York's most talked about film class? How does he attract the finest creative talent in the film world? Guests like Woody Allen, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese, Dustin Hoffman, Deborah Winger, William Hurt, Steven Spielberg, Robin Williams, Robert Redford, Shirley MacLaine, just to name a few? Why do his students describe him as brilliant, charismatic, and his class provocative, inspiring, exhilarating? Find out for yourself. Richard Brown's Screening Room, a whole new way to look at movies. Watch it on NCTV.
It's the start of the new year, and the nation's businessmen and women are rushing to file the 1987 economic census. In the midst of the census sensation, with forms coming in ahead of schedule, Washington wonders, maybe we made it too easy. What is fueling the census fire? Is this the precursor to a growth spurt in American business, or just a healthy respect for the law? One thing is crucial. If you've got an economic census form, get it off your desk by February 15th.
If you're a theater buff, you won't want to miss The Glass Menagerie opening tomorrow night at the Fire Hall Theater. Showtime is 8:15. Just a reminder that Monday you can sleep in, no classes, it's President's Day. Here to tell us one last time about the weekend forecast is meteorologist Jay Searles. Jay?
Thank you, Tom. The cold air tomorrow will be over Wisconsin and parts of Minnesota. The temperatures will be well below zero, 20 degrees below zero over there and down in Iowa as well. Here comes the warm-up. Across Montana and the western Dakotas, temperatures will be in the 30s and maybe even some upper 30s tomorrow morning. The snow will break out across eastern Dakotas ahead of this warm front. Warm air will be riding up and over this cold air, bringing us overrunning conditions where we'll have probably 2 to 3 inches accumulation by tomorrow afternoon. Forecast in for detail. Tonight, increasing clouds early with the temperature warming up after midnight. We'll have a low of about 2 degrees below zero. Winds will pick up out of the south at 15 to 25 miles per hour and a 20% chance of light snow. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, much warmer with a high of 20 degrees. The winds will be south at 10 to 15 miles per hour and a 50% chance of light snow. Saturday will become mostly sunny. We'll clear out for a day and very warm with a high temperature of 32 degrees. Sunday, increasing clouds late in the day and a high of 30 degrees. Still looking pretty good on Sunday. That's the forecast. Have a great weekend. Tom?
Sounds great, Jay. The warm weather really sounds good. We'd like to thank our guests, Hinyangerwa, Asheeke, and Dr. Bill Dando for being a part of us today. From all of us here at Studio One, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.